Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Howdy Partner. This week, we'll be showcasing Treedis. And I'm excited this week. I myself am not a spatial expert, but this will be a good learning experience for myself. And I am involved with AWS IoT, which this has a good corollary with and interacts with a number of our services. Now, because I'm not an expert in spatial services, I'd like to bring on one of my colleagues, Lauren, who is an expert.
Hello.
Welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself for our audience.
I'm Lauren Marble. As Simon pointed out, I am a solutions architect on our spatial computing team here at AWS. I've had a very long career in industry in various forms of engineering, but landed on emerging tech as my happy place and my passion. And so been with AWS for 2.5 years now. Super excited to be here on another Howdy Partner.
Well, happy to have you. I will definitely be leaning on your expertise, but that said, we should also bring on our actual expert, Boaz from Treedis.
Yay!
Hey.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Howdy, partner. Yeah, so thanks for having me. My name is Boaz. I'm from Treedis. I'm VP of Business Development. Should we maybe do favorite foods instead of just like previous expertise? And
let's do it.
Yeah. I'll go with pizza. I'll do pizza. Yeah.
That is a solid choice. I'm trying to think of what my actual favorite. Honestly, anything Korean. I love Korean food. Pretty much all of it. No matter what part of the animal they put into a bowl, I will eat it. So anything Korean.
I think I have to go more along that route. Thai food as well. Americanized Thai food is great, but also I spent some time in Thailand and everything I had was just awesome. So Thai food in general.
Yeah.
All right.
We're just gonna get Boaz some Domino's, It's like
no.
Super easy.
So it's a little bit late for eating now, but yeah, we're starting.
What time is it there?
It's just a little bit after midnight, so this can be like our late night radio talk show where we bring on Sleepless in Seattle.
There you go. I like it. But where are you? You're sleepless. Tell the crowd where you're at. You're sleepless and where?
Oh yeah, so I'm here in Israel, born and raised in Israel. Treedis is an Israeli company, Israeli based. So yeah, it's a little bit after midnight, which is fine because everyone's asleep. The house is nice and quiet, and I can go on and talk about Treedis and what we do with AWS and a lot of interesting and cool things that we have for everyone today.
We definitely appreciate you staying up late for us. Maybe if anybody else is watching internationally, go ahead and throw it in the chat just so we can see where everybody's from. Myself, I'm on the west coast of the United States, based out of Seattle. Lauren is as well. Lauren, where are you today?
I'm in LA visiting my family, so I'm a little bit. And then I went to college in New Mexico, so go Aggies, New Mexico State. We are not that other New Mexico universities Lobos. We're the Aggies, so Aggie up.
Nice. Looks like we have some Canadians in the audience. Oh, and we have a little bit of conflict. Let's bring this up. Just Domino's apparently is not pizza, so that's not going to work.
I tend to agree. I mean, it's.
What's your preferred then? Do you make your own? Are you a frozen pizza guy? What's the?
So fun fact. In my previous career, I actually used to own and run a pizza business. So it wasn't like a big franchise like Pizza Hut or Domino's. It was something more local, which is always, I think, better because you get the local products and everything is nice and fresh. And so
and
yeah,
gefilte fish pizza sounds amazing. So
yeah.
It's a logical jump from pizza restaurant owner to
yeah.
That's a straight line right there.
There's a very solid pipeline between tech and food industry.
How'd you pull it off? You mind sharing with the audience what made the change from?
That's actually a good question. I think it was. I I was at it for like 5 years or so, and then there was also the birth of my first child and COVID kind of hitting together, where I figured out maybe being in the restaurant business isn't the best thing now in COVID and in general for someone who's striving to, live a normal family life. So I was just looking for something out there, and then a friend of mine from high school said, "Yeah, I have come work with us at Treedis," and they kind of. I mean, it was sort of a gamble, but I guess it paid off because fast forward to 3.5 years later, and I'm still here, and seems to be going actually very well.
We're glad you made the move. Glad you're here.
Yeah, oh yeah, I never look back.
But now you have to eat Domino's since you can't eat your own pizza, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can make it home if I really want to, be creative. But yes, sometimes the junk food is just the best when you need that comfort. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's jump into it.
All right. All righty. So I think I'll start by sharing my screen.
And just for people watching, I think we're just going to go through kind of an overview of what Treedis is. And then we're going to do some live demos, and feel free to ask, not just feel free, but please ask questions in the chat. Anything big, small, we welcome it all. So it should be a pretty good episode.
Yes. And I know people can't ask a question on the microphone. They can just type it in, but please feel free to just jump in and throw those questions in. I'm from the Middle East, so it's part of the mentality to just interrupt and yell out the question that you have in mind. So I'll try to keep one eye on the presentation and one eye on the comments. And I know you guys here are going to help me with that if anything stands out.
You.
Yeah, we're a team here. So can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, it's up.
All right. So like Lauren said, we're going to start with a very short few slides about Treedis, who we are, what we do. And then we're going to just dive straight into the platform, show you kind of like what's under the hood, how to work it. And going to go through a few interesting solutions that we have. So Treedis. Treedis is a no-code platform, which is, I think, maybe one of the key factors here, that anyone listening to us doesn't need to have any special coding skills to just jump on it and start working with the platform. Really intuitive, straightforward, easy to use. So Treedis is a no-code platform that transforms industrial teams into connected workers. And we do that by leveraging the power of digital twins. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of fancy long words, so let's try and break that down a little bit. A few of the clients that we've been working with in the past should be 5 years already now. Big names, you might recognize a few of them. I don't see Domino's Pizza, though. We should probably get them
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, I do some outreach. But yeah, I think it's very interesting to see that it's kind of cross-industry, whether it's real estate or travel and hospitality, retail, food and beverage, industrial manufacturing. Everyone finds value in Treedis and what we do. So 3 core products that Treedis offer, and these are kind of like the 3 that I'll be going through today. Obviously, there's so much to it, and there's like hundreds of different features, and we can't do everything today. So I'm just going to give you the highlights of it. And then anyone that wants can just jump on it, like I said, and explore and play around and really discover the depth of the possibilities that Treedis have. So the 3 main products are kind of connected workers package. How does it work? Super simple. We start by capturing the space. So you can use a 3D scanner to capture space, create what is called a digital twin. And space can be headquarters, factory, any type of site, indoor, outdoor, large, small, doesn't matter. Once you have that, you upload it to Treedis, to our no-code studio. You start digitizing your workflows and adding all those layers of content and data. And then where the magic really happens is that you get cross-reality access. You can access the data and the layers of the digital twin both remotely, so from your desktop anywhere on the planet, or from your mobile device, or even a VR headset. But nevertheless, interesting, also physically on site using the Treedis AR app. So you can be on site, pull out your mobile device, point it at wherever you want on site, and it will visualize all the digital data and information.
I have to say that the augmented reality portion of that, like you have your example there of arrows pointing where plumbing's flowing. I used to work in the construction industry and production facilities, and having the ability to like trace plumbing that way would be just amazing and such a huge time saver for so many people.
Yeah, it's a big ask. I mean, everything is to see all the information, because imagine walking around like that site, or any site where you have a piece of machinery like an engine, and just by looking at it, you have no way of knowing what the temperature is, rounds per minute. But if you can just pull out your mobile device, point the camera at it, and then on your screen you see all this data that's been connected, that's super valuable. And that's what we're seeing. That's where that's where definitely where 2024 is going to, and I think 25 as well, towards those kind of connected worker solutions. So under the umbrella of connected workers, we have quite a few solutions and features for training and onboarding, collaboration tools between workers, different use cases, different industries. And then for indoor navigation, we have this amazing solution, and you'll see it really in just a bit, that allows anyone to navigate a large and complex space. And this also goes across the board. It can be for the more industrial, like a big warehouse, but also the big shopping mall next to your house, or a hospital, or a campus. Any large space is easier to navigate with these tools. And then immersive experiences. How do I take this digital twin and make it more engaging, more dynamic, so that while I'm in it, I actually feel like it's simulating the real life environment and not just a static kind of 3D environment. This is used for also creating training and onboarding kind of models, but also for marketing materials. Been had a few museums create escape rooms in 3D, so it's really cool. Treedis integrates with a lot of platforms, and this is the last slide, so we're going to get to the interesting part in just 1 second. We keep on developing. Treedis has a very talented R&D department, and if there's a new kind of platform out there, or technology that everyone's talking about, we'll be there to try and integrate with that, so that we can offer more possibilities and options to our users and clients.
I have a question on this side. I see a lot of the, typical players in the kind of XR space. One that Giphy. How does this? How are you working with Giphy?
Let me show you.
All right.
I'm just going to jump straight to it, and I'll jump straight to the Giphy. So this is, you'll see here loading our offices in Israel. And before I go to the part I was going to talk about, let's just
you said to interrupt you, so.
Oh yeah. So if I want to add a piece of media, an asset here, just to make it more, like I said, more dynamic, just to feel things are moving. So we have a few integrations. One is with Giphy, where I can search, for example, I don't know, you guys like basketball, right?
We do. It's the playoffs right now, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a big basketball guy, but is it?
We don't have to tell anybody.
Is it Denver, right? Denver? Are they in the finals?
Maybe.
Oh,
I've been watching it this week.
Now I'm catching you off guard.
We just came off of a holiday weekend. I'm visiting my mom.
Yeah. So you can see here, I just added this animation on the wall.
Somebody on Twitch said no, Denver is not.
Oh.
We have a sports commentator, so let us know who's there, who are you rooting for.
Help us out.
I think it's Boston.
There you go. So Dallas is up 3-1 on the Timberwolves and the Celtics.
All right. So I just added this Giphy animation on the wall here, and it's obviously playful, but we can make it actually benefit us. If we're trying to indicate something, then we can highlight something like with an arrow. If we're walking on a site and then there's this fuse box that's really hard to find, so we can add this arrow that's kind of indicating, and the animation just makes it pop up. So yeah, that's just one of many integrations that we have already built in.
That's sweet.
So that was a good question, actually. Okay, so I think we should start with indoor navigation. Indoor navigation, like I said, we want to provide our users with the possibility to navigate large and complex spaces.
Can I actually ask you to just like take one step back further? Because when you jumped into the Giphy thing, you brought up that whole building or your whole office space. How did you get the office space in there to start off with? Where did that come from? How did you?
Good point. So Treedis, I'm going to run it back a bit. Oh, yeah, because I did jump straight into that Giphy thing.
It's my fault.
So the Treedis platform, it's okay. You need to add your space. And when you capture a space, Treedis has an integration with Matterport. So we take Matterport digital twins. So you would capture your space, upload it to Matterport, and then you have a Matterport link, a URL. And then when you want to add a space, all you need to do is put in that Matterport URL, which normally starts with my.matterport.com, and then the specific tour. And then you name it, you give it a name. You can also kind of manage a portfolio of clients here. And you just add it. And then once you added it, you have here all these all your tours are here. And then when you click on it, you can actually start working on it.
Awesome. And about how long would you say it took you to scan, or do you do the scan? Like, did you scan this space, or did Matterport scan the space? How does that work?
We scanned it. Matterport have also scanning services. So if you want to, they provide what they call capture service. So you can have a technician come and capture your site. It's really quick. So I'd say that the office, that if I load it again and you can kind of see the size of it, this also has a few other floors like the lobby or something. But this didn't take more than like 40 minutes, I'd say, to do the actual scanning with the camera. And then it takes a couple more hours to kind of process and upload. But yeah, once you have the Matterport link, then it doesn't take any time at all to upload to Treedis. It's like a matter of 2 seconds. And then you also have it in Treedis, and you can sync between your accounts so that all your Matterport tours will be.
And I know that this is pulling from Matterport, and typically you store Matterport scans from Matterport file. Can you store those in like S3 or some AWS service, or does it have to come straight from Matterport?
It has to come straight from Matterport.
Okay, interesting.
When you're doing the capture yourself, what kind of equipment are you using? Do they provide a camera? Can you use your smartphone?
So Matterport have they do produce hardware. They have a Pro 3 camera, which is actually one of the best cameras out there. But you can also use other cameras like the Ricoh, anything that can that is able to connect to the Matterport capture app, and then to kind of upload your Matterport space, your Matterport model. They have like a list of devices that you can use on their website.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we captured our space, we uploaded it to Matterport, then we uploaded it to Treedis, and now it's on Treedis. It's ready to work. And then in Treedis, in the platform, we have what we call the workspace that you can see here, which is kind of like where all the magic happens, where all the editing is done, where we create all these things that we were talking about in the slideshow. And there really is a lot of features here, because we understand that one digital twin can provide so many different use cases. So you can use the digital twin, like we said, for training and onboarding, for collaboration tools, for visualization of live data coming from IoT sensors, for indoor navigation. We even have a feature for retail, like an e-commerce feature, which is probably for a different Howdy partner session. But yeah, there's so much to do here, and yet it still feels pretty intuitive and kind of straightforward on how to do it. I mean,
just because we come from the nerdy, not very fun industrial background, feel free to share the fun stuff, the retail stuff. We do have retail partners and customers that'll probably be watching this. So whatever, yeah, show us whatever you want. This is your time.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, if we have some time, we can definitely touch on some of the retail stuff at the end. I wouldn't say it's like the Treedis core, the focus, but it's definitely something that's on the platform, and we do have users that use it. So I'm going to start with the basics, which is we have this digital twin, and you can see here it's like taking a picture. You kind of freeze a fraction in time, and you have a 3D model out of it, and then you want to start adding the information, adding in these layers and the data. And I think the most simple way to add information is just by adding a tag, where you can see I have a tag here that just gives basic information like coffee or fridge. And to add a tag, we're going to start adding some tags ourselves now. You just go to tags, and then you can place a tag here on the table, and you can name it. Let's call this lunch table, because this is where we eat lunch. And then there's a lot of different ways and features that you can add information. So for example, I can have this tag action, pretty much anything. I can have it, so when the user clicks on it, I can have it open up an image, a video, maybe an iframe. I think we can put an iframe here just to see how that looks like.
So just to kind of, marry this to an industrial type use case, you could bring up a procedure, you could bring up a video of somebody demonstrating something, if this was, like how to put this table together, or bring up PPE requirements, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it can be like manuals and stuff like that, or videos. And then for the training part of things, there's even a more advanced features that kind of allow you to build a guide, like a step-by-step kind of thing. But yeah, this can hold any type of information on it. And you can obviously play around. You can change the colors of this icon. You can modify it. You can move it around. But let's just save it at that for now. And also,
can you change the type of tag, like the icon that pops up on the tag, or is it just a circle?
Yeah. We have like a bunch of icons here.
Nice.
If I look long enough, I'll probably find something related to lunch. Here, there we go.
There you go. I want to come to Treedis lunch times.
Oh yeah, it's always martinis for lunch. And then, so this is like the simple way to visualize content. But then there's a few other ways. The first one is, like we saw the Giphy, where we can add some animations. But we also have these black TV screens that were off when we captured. But what if we want to add something there just to make the environment more dynamic? We can do so through the media section. And I could just upload a video. Whoops. Let's do video here. There we go. I can name it. Let's call it test.
While you're doing that, we got a question coming in from the audience. I'm going to throw it up.
Yeah.
Can the object locations be dynamic? For example, can I tag the coffee maker, but then move it into a different room and still have the information associated with it?
Yeah, of course. I can move the, if I jump back to the lunch table tag. So it has still the same information. I can move it. I can move it to here, to like this side of the table, or to a different room. It doesn't matter. It still holds the same settings and information. And we'll see in a second, you can also add like an animation or a 3D object that actually moves around in the space.
I think that's more the way I'm reading the question is, can they move the coffee maker itself to like another room?
Oh, the actual machine?
Yeah. Like, is there a way to like, you know, mess around with
not automatically. It can be done like manually with like an editing team that we have, but it's not something that's part of the like a built-in feature.
Okay. Got it.
So I added my video, and then I'm just gonna throw it here in the 3D environment. It takes a second to load, and then it's a easy drag and drop interface. I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger so we can see what we're working with here. There it is. And then I can rotate that, kind of stick it on the TV screen. And can make it bigger to make it like really fit. And if we had time, I'd make it look like, you know, super aligned, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. But there, I have the video here. There's like settings here. I can make it autoplay. I can make it loop. Let's keep it muted for now. And then there, I have a TV that's actually playing a clip. And this is just like a marketing clip, but this can also be, like you said, Lauren, actually valuable information. It can be maybe a guide, a tutorial, giving me information how to do something specific. And this can also be an avatar. So I can upload like an avatar and have him explain what I need to do, kind of like a step-by-step guidance here as well. And these are just...
Sorry, real quick, there's a comment that I think you might be addressing later on, but it said, would be great if you can integrate with Amazon Sitewise IoT Twin Maker. I think you might have something to say about that.
I don't know who's asking these brilliant questions, but
Kimate is we know Kimate.
All right, I love these questions. So yes, please stay tuned. More to come. Yeah, so we spoke about making the environment more engaging. Now let's talk about navigating the space.
Before you
How do
jump
we-
forward, just one question about the content you've added. Can you
Yeah.
make it conditional so it's like a different person or different user might see a different image on that screen? Or is it kind of static in that you're going to apply that there and then it's going to stay for every user?
It's static, but I can, if I want something more personalized, I can put an iframe here and then maybe have like a login, an HTML of a login window, and then everyone has to log in with their own credentials and see the content that they're supposed to see, for example.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so the office is fairly, I mean, it's not that big, but let's imagine that it's huge. So we want to kind of know how to navigate through it. And we already added a few tags in the office. So how do we create a navigation tool for users to easily navigate this space? And when I say to navigate the space, again, it's both remotely, but also physically on site with the mobile device. For that, we have our navigation feature. Navigation feature, switched on the web navigation, is the possibility to allow users to just select a location out of the menu, and it will show them how to get there. It will navigate them. It will show them the path. How does it look? Let's just open this up here. So let's say we're looking for the lunch table. And there's different kind of settings that we have here. And you can see here it's starting to navigate me to the lunch table. Trouble is, it's running me through walls. It's not going actually through the right area. So what I want to do is, you see it's just going to run me through the wall, and then I'm at the lunch table all of a sudden. That's not good. So we want to make sure our navigation routes are actually valid and that people won't be running into walls. And to do so, we have our path editor. So our path editor allows me, for example, to stand here and preview a path. So let's say I choose this starting point right here, and I want to preview a path to the lunch table. So now specifically it's showing me a bit of a different one, but again, it's running me through the front desk, which I don't want to do. So what I can do here is I can add a barrier, which basically means the navigation feature won't navigate through a barrier that I added. And this can't be seen on the public link that I just opened in this additional tab. It's just for editing purposes. So if I put a barrier here, and let's say I make it longer, and let's rotate that a bit again, and let's just save this, you'll see that automatically the navigation route is now changed, and it's now taking me actually the right way through the corridor and not through the desk, and then running me all the way to the lunch table. And barrier is simple, right? We don't want to go through glass doors or anything like that. But what happens when we have an elevator? How do we simulate that the navigation will get to one point and then kind of stop and continue at a different place in the digital twin? So what we can do here is we can add teleports. To add a teleport means that, and I think it's going to be easier if we take a look at this from this kind of point of view, where we see, hold on, there we go. We see the elevators in two different floors. And what we'll want to do is make the user teleport from this door to the other door, to the door on the other floor, and see that as a valid kind of route. So what you would do is you would add a teleport group, mark a point, like for example here, and then add another point on the bottom there. And then you can name them. I'll just give them different names so it's easier to understand. And then you have one group, and you know that if the route is kind of takes you to this point here, it will continue the route from the other side of the teleport, sort of like a magic gateway, sort of say. Another possibility to enhance your path is to kind of add scanning points. You can see there's these circles here on the floor that represent the scanning points where the camera captured a 360. So what you can do is you can also add what we call sweeps, or you can modify them. So for example, if I don't want the navigation to go through sweep number 1, maybe I want it to go through number 4. So I can just delete sweep number 1. Hold on.
What's the use case for this, Boaz? Is this in case a certain sweep has a better view of something you're trying to look at, or what's the idea?
So for example, it might take me through a kind of, I'll show you. Let's take an example from here. Sorry. So for the sweeps, let's do a new preview path. Let's do from here to, let's say, fridge. Yeah, so here it's taking me again back to that kind of way. So first of all, I'm going to put a barrier here so that it won't take me through the stairs there and through the wall that we saw. Hold on 1 second. There we go. It's bigger. Oh, and another thing, we can make the barriers one way. So if there's like a revolving door that you can only access one way, you can actually edit that and make it one way here, for example. And then you see the green way is where you can enter it, and then you can come through the other side. So I can change the direction of that, for example. So for the sweeps, for example, you can see here that it's kind of taking me here and then going to this one and then sending me back from this kind of route. So I might want to cancel number 41, or I might just want to add a sweep here and say, just connect me through this one so that I can actually, for example, that was 39. And then I can edit all the kind of neighboring sweeps of 39, and I can add this custom sweep to make it work with that one. So if I delete all the neighboring sweeps, then it's just going to skip navigating on that sweep. Let's refresh this. So again, if I go from here to the fridge or coffee, then it doesn't take me back that way. First of all, it doesn't take me through that barrier there. But I can also modify the line. It's basically just for aesthetics, just to make it have the exact location. And like I said, again, this is a fairly easy space to navigate. Try to imagine the example you gave of a maybe factory with tons of pipes that are going everywhere, and you're trying to find a specific sensor, a specific valve or something. So once you map everything out, you can walk around with your mobile device, walk around the site, click, take me to valve number A25, and it will just navigate you straight to there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is the navigation. There's also ways to kind of modify the route, no elevators or accessible way. Were there any questions coming in about the navigation?
Not seeing any new questions, but yeah, if you're in the audience, feel free to post them. Oh, somebody's just throwing something in. I'll bring it up on screen here. Is it possible to live view a user's path in tandem? For example, user 1 is live in the experience and user 2 is a remote expert who can also see what you're experiencing?
Yeah.
Might be like a remote support kind of thing?
Yeah, so we actually have a feature. So there's a few collaboration tools, which is basically what we call this. One tool is for a worker on site to be able to physically, through the app, place a tag, for example. And if he places a tag, he can then, actually, let me show this example. Let me pull this in here. So the worker, and I have a recording because obviously we can't show this. You have to be physically there. So the worker places a tag physically on site, and then he can maybe report some sort of issue or ask a question. And there's a specialist remote offsite, maybe on the other side of the globe. And he will get a notification that he was tagged in this thread, and then he can access the same digital twin virtually, take a look at this thread and start replying and having a discussion. And then the worker on site can see the reply and can resolve the problem. This is like the first level of collaboration. The next level, and here you can also see the kind of the navigation. The next level of collaboration is, like you asked, remote support. So instead of communicating in a thread, now they're actually going on a live session together with like on-screen annotations where someone remotely can say, yeah, you have to pull this screw out, you have to switch this light bulb or so on. And then they're live in it. And there's also a possibility for, if everyone's remote, then you can have this kind of training session where everyone logs into the digital twin with an avatar representation so that I can see what other people are doing, what they're looking at, where they're walking in the digital twin. So to answer the question, the answer is yes, it's possible.
Thanks.
Okay, so we spoke about navigation. Now let's talk about how we build sort of like a training module or a step-by-step guide. And the way to do so is with our experience creator, what we call the experience creator, which is, I can drop here a teaser. It is going to be upgraded to our new flows, which is not launched yet, but it's coming soon. Flows is going to be kind of like a revolution in creating these building these step-by-step guides. But for now, let's see how it's done using the Experience Creator. So the Experience Creator basically says, I know that workers, especially maintenance personnel, have to walk around the site and they have to perform some sort of procedure, and then they might not have all the knowledge in their memory. Or if they do have it all in their memory, they're probably close to retirement, and then a newer generation has to come in and have that knowledge in their head. And you know, nothing against Gen Z. They're great. They're wonderful kids, but I guess attention span isn't this the best strength. So how do we retain that knowledge? And then if we can create an SOP and we can digitize it so that they have it in the palm of their hand, then we don't need to worry about knowledge retention, people forgetting things. Maybe if you forget something, that can even lead to mistakes, downtime, maybe even accidents that can be hazardous. So we're trying to prevent all that and just make sure that maintenance is at its highest efficiency. So let's build a step-by-step guide on how to use the office. So we're going to start with tagging the points of interest, which we kind of already did, because we have the coffee machine, we have the fridge, we have the lunch desk. I think there's one out here called balcony. And then there's another one here called boardroom. So what we want to do is we want to kind of create this guide for onboarding let's say a new employee in the offices, how to use the offices. So we're going to start with building our path. And the path is what's going to guide us from point A to B to C with all the information that we need. So we're going to call this path onboarding. And then once we have this path created, there is a lot to kind of do here. Let's start by just adding the first step. And each step of the path consists of a location. So where's this path going to take me? And an asset. So what am I going to click on that's going to activate the next step? Excuse me for a second. There we go. Normally I just label them by numbers, just because it makes it easier to then come back and edit them again. So I'm going to start with number one. Number one is going to be welcome to our office. This is a text that's going to be on the kind of navigation guide bar. And I can choose the movement type. There's different types of like movements. Let's do fly through. It's a cool effect. And then I want to choose a destination. So where do I want the path to take me if I click next? And the best way is to just insert a smart link, or what we call a deep link. And then let me show you how to get a deep link. One moment. We'll add this. No, we'll get back to that. I just want to turn off the navigation so that we have, there we go. All right. So we said, welcome to the office. This is number one. And to fetch a location from within the digital twin, all you need to do is to kind of have it open, and you can hit Control Y on your keyboard. And and that will, so you see it's already here, but it's not attached to anything. It won't take me anywhere. So let's say I want it to take me here, straight to the entrance. I'm going to hit Control Y, and it says copied current position. I'm going to put that here. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to choose what's going to be the next step. Like, what's the asset that's going to trigger the next step? So let's say, for example, I want the basketball to be the next one. And I'll click add on that. And we can also kind of modify the way things look here. You can already see we have something here. Now, what happens when I click on the basketball? What's the next step? So I'm going to add the second step. Nope. Let's give this a refresh.
While you're setting up here, take a second to just reintroduce. You're joining us today on the Howdy Partner Show. We're a weekly Twitch show where we interview and just have a good time chatting with a number of our partners that have innovative solutions. And today we have Treedis here to show us their 3D spatial tool to use to make digital twins. And Boaz right now is giving us a demonstration of how to create actual flow through his 3D space. For instance, if you had a new employee onboarding, take him step by step through the office here.
You've been listening. Good for
And
you,
for those who are just joining and don't know, this is all being done by a former pizza restaurant owner. So this is not like the guy that you went to school with that was having LAN parties in college, right? This is the guy that was making pizza, and now he's making cool VR stuff. So.
By the way, how are we feeling about pineapple on pizza?
Absolutely. All of it.
I'm on the other side of that one. No, keep the fruit off the pizza.
Big no.
There we go. We got to bring this one on. This person, there we go. That's
not
the
allowed.
Answer. Oh, there we go. Next one, not allowed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in some countries you can go to jail actually for putting pineapple.
Okay.
Well, not in this one. This is America. We have freedom. Me and Holy Ghost we're on the same page right here. I like it.
So in the meantime, I added our next step, which is let's grab a snack, which basically means, I mean, we've been talking about food, basically means we want to take the user to the next step, which is like the kitchen or whatever. Like, can we call this a cafeteria?
Real quick, somebody just asked if this is recorded, and the answer is yes, in all of its glory. It'll be posted to the, obviously on the Twitch, our AWS Twitch channel, but we also have a playlist on YouTube for Howdy Partner, and I think we'll grab that link in a second and probably post it in here in the chat, maybe on the video. But yes, it'll be recorded, so stay tuned for that. I'll find the...
All right. The view outside is, wow. Just adding some steps here. I know that we were talking about some fun stuff, and I was just adding some interesting. Yeah.
In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you have some buttons there, and I saw some different buttons earlier. I thought that was like a tape measure and some other things. Maybe you can just walk us through what some of these are when you get a chance.
Yeah. So there's different buttons there. We can take a look at them now. We have, the first one is the dollhouse, which kind of gives us this sort of preview where you can see the entire model. Then we also have the floor plan. Do we have the floor plan here? This one. There's also a floor plan mode, but it's switched off. And then, yes, there is a possibility to take measurements. So I can click on like this measurement tool and add a measurement. Wait. Oh, there it is. Where's it gone? So these are, I mean, all these icons are Matterport features. The measurements tool, the dollhouse, the floors where you can jump from one floor to another. And let's play around with it a bit. 1 second. Let's refresh this. Let me pull up a different one that has it all switched on.
Are you saying that because are there features that need to be enabled, or it's just in this case, this demonstration doesn't have it set up?
Yeah, it's just to kind of toggle it on or off. So I'll just pull one here, pull up one here.
Also, while you're pulling it up, you have a fan in the audience. You have Andre from Informer.nl in the Netherlands here, proud Treedis reseller. So,
oh, big shout out.
Always
there
love
we
to
go. So yeah, so I can like put measurements here of different areas, or
is there a standard accuracy of these measurements, or is it kind of dependent on?
You can take the man out of engineering, but you can't take engine. I was just about to ask the same question. Sorry, go ahead, boss.
It's yeah, I think it's like 98.9. Like it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
People use this for the construction and engineering field. Nice. So
do you have what that is translated to, like maybe plus or minus how many centimeters, or in I don't know, inches, but like
there's like an exact number. Okay. I don't have it out of my sleeve, but there is an exact number to that. Okay. So yeah, you can create like these types of measurements, and then this is, by the way, the floor plan view where you can see it from up top. This is a dollhouse where you spin it around, and then this is just jumping back into it. So it's just different kind of tools and previews that you can play around with. Just one of the hundreds of features, really. But back to our navigation path, which was kind of, it's almost finished.
Thinking about it.
So what you see here is what any employee would see when he starts this session. And it can be remotely for training purposes, or it can be physically on site for actual maintenance. So welcome to the office. If I hit next, it's just going to transport me. It's going to teleport me here. And then we said you have to click on the basketball asset to make it jump to the next step. But I feel like I haven't really done that.
I just want to point out also for the audience, if you've never actually tried to develop an app like this, it feels, a couple parts, just the nature of demoing that it's, he's walking through a lot of this stuff. So this takes a lot less time in action when you're not explaining it. And please don't be fooled by how easy this looks. There is a lot going on behind the scenes that makes this pretty impressive. And we haven't even gotten to the exceptionally impressive part, because creating augmented reality out of this is a whole other level. So I just want to just point that out for everybody that's watching. This is actually it's almost like too easy, you know. Like,
but it really is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, obviously you have to kind of learn it to get the hang of it, but again, it's a no-code platform, so
yep.
If you just invest the time, and we have great content online in terms of tutorials and guides, then it's really easy to do. And you can, I mean, everything that I'm building here is, you see me building it. It's not like I've added like lines of code or whatever. There we go. Yeah.
We do have a question in the chat. It said, what are some optimal hardware recommendations for users to experience these workspaces? Full headset, glasses, or just a phone, etc.? Thanks.
Desktop is standard. It depends what you want to do with it. I find that the VR headsets are cool, and it's really people get hyped about it, but I don't think it adds a lot of value as opposed to just desktop, especially if we're talking about like professional training, where it's not about you know, having gamers play video games. It's about actually training and going through looking at content. So desktop for remote access, and then for access on site, just your mobile device. You can download the Treedis AR app, and you can use it. We also have some integrations with AR headsets, like the Microsoft HoloLens. We're also working on an integration with the Magic Leap, and I guess at some point we'll put our hands on our Apple Vision Pro. But I think the market is mainly focused on desktop and mobile. That's where the market is now. So and it doesn't need to be like a supercomputer or super mobile device. Any average iPhone or Android to that extent can you can use the AR app on it.
Kind of in line to that question that you kind of answered this question a bit, but it said, what if there is an old desktop and hardware acceleration does not work properly because GPU is weak, an old machine, and it will all start lagging?
So what's the question?
Will work on like an old desktop? Do you need like something with like high powered GPUs, or you know, will work on my 10-year-old laptop? Or if you work in industry, 30-year-old desktop that gets.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where the border goes, but I have a few. I mean, my work laptop is obviously powerful, but the one I have at home is, I'd say, pretty average, and it manages to carry these experiences fairly easy. And what I'm pulling up now is because I just wanted everyone to see how the actual step-by-step kind of feels when it's in a more professional environment. And this is a water utility site, so a lot of pipes and stuff going on, and we'll talk about the IoT after this. But you can see how I click next, and it takes me to one step, and then I have to, for example, step one is set the control panel, and then I can see an actual tutorial video on how that's done. There's a video coming up here that I can play. I'll just mute that. And then it will take me to the next step, and so on and so on. And if I get lost, I can always click on the next button here on the navigation path, which indicates me to what the next step that needs to be done. And here we see another Giphy animation indicating exactly where I need to work. So it kind of, everything comes together, like the things we've been touching on with the animations, with adding images and videos, with adding the step-by-step guidance. So it all kind of comes together for one kind of cohesive training module or maintenance SOP.
Somebody pointed out or asked in the chat and said, wait, are there photos of the restroom too?
At the Treedis offices? No. Because
I think it looks like somewhere.
Yeah. You mean at the offices or here?
I think they think one of the rooms, like maybe over here, is the restroom. I will say, from using Matterport scans, you can blur those out. They, like, if you know, this is not a restroom, but there are definitely features that you can use to eliminate any sensitive spaces for areas that you don't need. So
interesting. I don't think we ever captured the restrooms, but maybe it's something we should explore, creating a training model on how to use the toilet.
Some people might find that helpful.
Yeah. All right. So we spoke about indoor navigation. We spoke about kind of building a step-by-step guidance. I think now we can talk about the star of the show, which is the IoT connectivity. And there's no better IoT platform to connect with than the AWS IoT TwinMaker.
Agreed.
We're glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. It's obvious, right? So in our IoT section, which is here, you can see that I can add IoT sensors. So obviously, factories have many different IoT sensors streaming data from machinery, and some of them might be on different platforms. We do have, if I want to add an IoT, we do have a few other suppliers besides the TwinMaker. TwinMaker, like we said, is always number one for us because we love AWS so much. And as soon as I want to add my TwinMaker, all I need to do is enter the access key and the secret key, and then just put in all the information to make sure it's connected to the right space in the TwinMaker. I went through this beforehand, so we can just take a look at it here. So it's just a space we have on TwinMaker, and I won't jump onto TwinMaker because gotta respect the territories here. But yeah, a TwinMaker is, I think, probably needs its own kind of webinar, and well, it's not a Howdy partner, but I'm sure there's a lot of content on how to set things up there on the TwinMaker, but that's not the focus for today. This is assuming you have everything already set up in TwinMaker, so you can just connect a specific space, workspace, and a specific scene from the TwinMaker, and then add it here. So now that I have it here, how do I actually connect it to, let's say, a tag or whatever it is? So what I can do is I can sync devices. And here we just added 3 devices of wind. So we'll choose one, and I can call this wind speed. You can select the measurement units. I'll just choose a random one. And then where do I want to place this? So where in the space do I want the user to click on so that he can see this data stream coming in? I'll choose the balcony because it's probably windy out there.
Not so windy inside.
Yeah. And then I can go to the AWS sensors here, and I have the wind speed sensor. I can edit that one if I want, but then it's there. And then if I fire this up again, and I'll just go straight off to the balcony. You can see that I have the IoT and wind speed sensors, and it's fetching the data because there's no actual data connected there. We just created like a mock-up on TwinMaker, but you would see the actual data here. You can kind of lock that in, and I can add another data stream to the same tag, actually. So I can also do wind direction, for example, call it direction, and put it on the balcony as well. And then what you'll see here, I can also, I believe, choose an icon for that. Let's see how that looks.
Can the sensor data be used to impact other features? For instance, say the wind speed was too high and you tried to navigate to the balcony. Could you have it say, hey, don't go on the balcony right now?
That's really interesting. So we can definitely, I mean, we can have the sensors kind of like two-way. So I can connect, for example, if you take a look here, like doors and locks, like locking doors are cameras, so I can control what's going on out there. I don't think we have kind of like a cross function where you, like the example you said, where it warns me not to go out to the balcony if the wind speed is too high. You can definitely add rules to change the visualization. So for example, if we have the demo that we saw here just a few seconds ago, where the pipes, there's a visualization and then the colors kind of change, and you can add rules to that. So for example, here it would be depending on the temperature, for example, of the water. So now it's blue, but maybe it can turn red if the water is too hot. And you can add animations like pressure gauges, like you see here, to help indicate, kind of visualize the live data that's coming behind that. So there's different ways to make this more kind of stand out to the eye. Let's see, what do we have more here to do?
Real quick, can you go back to your slides? I just saw something in the so on the side where it says cameras, in the bottom right hand corner, it looks like there's 3 kind of glasses. Does that mean you can get 3 different views, or is it just like an error?
So, no, it's an icon to kind of jump into VR mode, to view it from VR. But you can see here that when you click on the actual tag where you place where you connected the data stream, you have like a small pop-up that gives you the live stream from that camera.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, and again, there's so many IoT outputs out there, and so there's like if you just want to add, so here we have just like a few, but like I said at the beginning, we're always developing and we're always adding more. By the way, we can change. This is what I wanted to do before. Change the icon of the wind. For example, I think I added it as seconds. So seconds, and maybe let's change this to sorry, we do kilometers per hour.
We're only tangentially familiar with those, you know.
Yeah, none of that mile nonsense.
I'm British.
There we go. And related tag, balcony. Let's save that. And let's take a look how this looks like.
While that's loading up and we see Treedis on the door, where did you guys get the name Treedis?
So in Hebrew, there's no really sound for TH. So a lot of Israelis struggle to pronounce TH. And then if you want to say, like on this table, let's 3D this table. So 3D this for me. So any average Israeli, if you ask him to say 3D this, he'll say Treedis, 3D this. So it kind of like evolved into Treedis, and then yeah, so it's so here we have the two IoT data streams, and then we have the airplane icon that we connected to it, and it's not showing the kilometers per hour because there's no data, but you can modify that.
Somebody asked in the chat, can I search for an object on site and be given a path to it?
Yeah.
I think you demonstrated that a little bit earlier. Are all of the tags searchable? Like what kind of items can you search for and get paths to?
Yeah. So if your tag is toggled with the navigation, then we can navigate to it. Let's just save that and boardroom as well. So I'm just turning on all the navigation features now, and I'll show you that if we add our menu and add all our tags to our menu, and I think that's saved. Let's try this out. And that's a great question because you definitely want to have the possibility to navigate to something that just pops up, like balcony.
I'm assuming these tags over here, you can create groups, perhaps, with like right? So you can, okay, cool.
Yeah. I can make that like the menu is very, I can move things out of the like out of categories. For example, let's just see how that looks. It's loading too fast. I don't have time to drink. So yeah, so balcony. It's going to show me. Oops. Let's see. Lunch table. It's supposed to show me how to navigate there. Hold on one sec. I think I did that too fast. Navigation. Yep, we have the navigation. Let's give that another try. We did the lunch table. Yeah, okay, that just took me there automatically. So you can have the possibility to either just teleport you there automatically, or oh, I know what I did.
What did you do, Boaz?
I'm sorry. People are gonna have to excuse me that it's 1:30 a.m. and
We'll
yeah.
let it fly. Is there a way to instead of just having all the tags pop up, can there be a search bar in that menu, in that hamburger menu, so that you could type in, like, say you were looking for a valve, right? I want valve 127.
Yeah, so I can enable search bar.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, and then refresh it again. Yeah, so I have the menu. I can search for lunch table. Perfect. And then yeah, it's
is there a way, would it be possible to, so you take the Matterport scan and you can tag everything, but is there a way maybe to do some like automatic tagging or bulk tagging of some kind, so that if you do have 400 valves or, you know, hundreds of pipes, it's not as manual of an effort?
There are some. So for the first time, there's no way around it, because you're going to have to kind of tag everything. You're going to have to place everything out there. What you can do to make life easier is you can import tags, so that, let's say I already know which tags I'm going to have here. I have a few sites. All of my sites have the same pieces of machinery, so I can import the tags and then I'll have them here, so I don't need to
recreate
modify them again. Put on the right settings, add all the content. I'm just going to import them. They're going to be here, but then I will need to locate them physically in the space, because every space is different. But yeah, it shouldn't be there's no way around it yet, physically putting them out there, just because every site is so different. Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, were there any other questions?
There's no questions in the chat, but I was wondering if you could show us, I know obviously you can't show us the AR because we don't have AR glasses, but could you show us what it's like to kind of create an experience for AR, right? Because it's a little bit more, VR, I think, to me, it inherently makes more sense. Like, the switch is a little bit easier, but how do you anchor to the real world? So how do you go from this to being like giving an app to somebody on site and say, okay, go find the lunchroom or the lunch table here, and have it show people how to get there?
So that's the magic. Everything that we did here is just already available on AR. All you need to do is download the app and then go on site, and everything, that all the digital layers, the data that we have here virtually, will be visible on the AR app. I can pull up actually a nice example. Let's pull this up here, where we have this kind of like the full kind of, so this is a case study of one of refineries that we've been working with, where you can see how we connect tags with data streams. You can see how they also use the measurement tool.
Oh, so this is them actually in the space. This is
yeah, and here you can see here the menu here that they just pulled up. I'm gonna pause that. You see here, so you see there's like hundreds of different devices, all have like almost the same name, and you can search it, and then once you found the unit you need, it will navigate you there to that specific engine, give you the data streams coming in, the live data, and then this is, like we said, this is virtually. And then another virtual aspect is that we have is like the step-by-step that we went through, where it can explain how to do things. And then there it is physically. So you have someone walking around with his mobile device, navigates him from one point to the other. This is a kind of visualization of how it looks. So you have the navigation or the flows, if you want to go through like the step-by-step, IoT, just to see all the live data coming through. And then the notes and the support are the two collaboration tools that we spoke about a little bit earlier in the session. So nothing was done kind of twice. There's no double editing work, one for VR, like one for remote and one for AR. You only do it once, and then it's you get cross reality access.
That's amazing.
The big plus here.
And so you just, when you go on site, you just open up the app and you say, I'm here. And it, I'm assuming, uses some kind of SLAM to recognize where it is and then overlay the appropriate things.
Yeah. So you can either scan a QR code to open a specific model, or it will just give you the nearest models according to your physical location. And then once you click on the model, it uses the image recognition to recognize where you are and calibrate that with the exact location within the digital twin. That takes normally between 1 and 3 seconds. You might need to like move your phone a little bit around so it gets more data. But then once you're calibrated, it knows where you are and what you're pointing at, and it will just layer the data that's coming also from the digital twin.
That's awesome.
Yes. I think I kind of went through everything. We can talk about some questions if there are any.
I'm not seeing any right now. Did you have any more, Simon, from an IoT perspective? That's your lane, so I'll let you swim in it for a bit. If you. I
was wondering, with the IoT sensors that we have involved, what kind of analytics can we pull in that data? How does that kind of work?
Good point. Let me pull up a demo analytics dashboard. And yeah, analytics is very important because you want to know how your users are kind of performing, or what they're doing in the space. First of all, from a training point of view, you want to know how employees are performing on training modules. Are they getting it quickly? How long is it taking them? How many tries do they need for each one? But then you also want to know, for example, what they're clicking on, and not also from kind of a point of view where you might have space and you want to see how people are interacting with that space, where they're going. So I'm just going to pull up a analytics page. There we go.
I don't think we're seeing your screen. It might just be, I don't, or is
it? Yeah,
like...
no, I'm waiting for it to pull up. I don't want anything.
While you're doing that, there is a special offer from Treedis posted in the chat. Contact sales, add the promo code Howdy 2024. So if y'all are interested there, please, feel free to reach out to them directly and get started on that journey, which I think is pretty generous. So
yeah,
thanks for that.
You can, you can reach out. You can say you saw me online, chatting about all these wonderful things, and we have a great team. They'll be happy to help.
I can confirm that. They are a great team. Super easy to work with, super flexible, super transparent about what they can and can't do, or what they're, is in their pipeline and all that stuff. So, which makes planning very easy.
They'll stay up until the middle of the night to talk to us.
We'll stay up until the middle of the night.
Yeah, we go a long way. All right, here it's coming up. I'm sorry about that delay.
Oh, good.
Okay. So, yeah, because analytics is kind of like sensitive. So we have like average time, views, users. We can take a look at the origin that they're coming from, the country, what devices they're using. We can also, like I said, if we jump down to the clicks, so what they're clicking on, how many clicks on each one, and all these analytics can be exported to a spreadsheet.
So we could get an idea on here of which sensors or equipment is getting the most attention, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely. Yeah. So click. So every time I, for example, I was out here on the balcony and I click on this tag to see what the sensors are, that's registered as like a click event. And then you can pull out like a week back, a month back, how many times has this been clicked. So if there's a piece of machinery that's broken and then you see that it hasn't been clicked on 2 weeks back, so someone's got to explain why it hasn't been monitored, because if someone would have clicked on it, they would have probably seen that it's about to go bust. So those kind of conclusions can be definitely drawn from our analytics to help improve maintenance processes, improve workflows.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Amazing stuff, Boaz. I think we're going to wrap it up. Do you have any parting words? Anything you'd like to mention before?
So, I mean, it went by really, really quickly. I have to be honest. I'm going to stop sharing now so I can see you all. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It went by quickly. I didn't even notice that it's late. I feel very energetic and ready to work now, so I don't know how I'm going to fall asleep. But once again, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you guys in future events.
Thank you so much again for accommodating our very inflexible schedule here on Howdy Partner. We appreciate you as a partner, and thanks for that. Simon, you got any sign-off words?
Just that, yeah, I appreciate you being willing to work with us in the middle of the night and everything you've shared with us today. A lot of great demonstrations. I learned a lot. I'm hoping that our audience did as well. And we'd be happy to have you back in the future as you unroll new features and new products.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.
And thanks, everyone. Thanks in the audience. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, same time. Please come back and join us for our next partner.
Ciao.